Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Project Zomboid Survivor Broadcast. I'm Ash from Zombie Ash Gaming. I'm joined with Sam, aka Nautical, and Chuck from
Hello.
Chuck Miller Plays. How are you all? How are you both?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, we're good. We're ready to talk
yeah.
about some negative traits.
Negative traits. We're
Yes.
getting through all of them.
Yes,
Maybe, hopefully.
this
Eventually.
week, negative traits. All about the
Yes.
negative traits and what ones you take, I suppose, your experiences with them and everything like that. So it's there's a lot of them to get through, 38 I think, so I think we'll just crack straight on. We'll do in the same format as we did before, so the lowest to the highest points. So yeah, the first one, emaciated, not really one that you can take, but one that you get once you drop to a certain weight. Have you any experience with this, either of you?
I have never had this before.
No,
I always
no.
keep my character stuffed.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm the same. I haven't had no experience with that. I like to keep him the good weight,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the effects of it are insane. 40% melee damage, 75% chance to fail at climbing a tall fence, 30% endurance regeneration, and 20 more full damage. That is incredible. Like,
that is awful, actually, isn't it? That's 75% chance to fail to climb the fence.
Can you imagine that with sprinters?
Yeah, that's a tough one. And endurance regeneration. It's just an awful trait, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you just stay away from this. But I mean, just stuff your face if you get anywhere near this.
Have a healthy diet. That's the.
I mean, you don't have to really just shovel butter and ice cream and put on weight. But
yeah, if you
in an idealistic world,
if you drop into just eat a tub of ketchup or something, get some butter in you. not ice cream, because ice cream can go rotten now, can't it? Actually.
Yeah.
I
was really bummed out with that.
Yeah. I've got to be careful because I use it all the time. But all right, well, we'll move on from that one then, as we don't really have any experience with it. Basically, just don't lower your weight to get to that stage, I suppose. So the next one, Sunday Driver, 1 point, accelerates vehicles 40% slower and has a max speed of 30 kilometers an hour. What are your thoughts on this one? Chuck, let's go, Chuck. What do you think?
Well, basically, in my head, in just big, massive, flashing capital letters, is the word no. Basically, I'll tell you, I took this once, and the only reason I took it was to balance out the build with the trait points I had, and I didn't really know anything about it other than the very obvious that you drive a bit slower, or I can't remember what exactly it says on the traits thing. But it doesn't say that you have a max speed of 30 kilometers an hour.
Oh, on the in-game one? Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yes,
no.
It doesn't. I think it just says you accelerate more slowly or something, and that's about it. So I took it, and I thought, well, I mean, that's okay. But a max speed of 30 kilometers an hour is just painful. If you've got to get from one place to another, sort of like in terms of towns, it would be horrendous. So I took it out once, never again. It's 1 point. You can always work around not having to take it. It's just no.
Yeah, it's a shocker. What about you, Sam?
just don't do it to yourselves.
Yeah.
You deserve better.
Absolutely.
It's awful. The amount. So, but the way I look at it is, like, when you come to the kind of the end game of Project Zomboid, where you've got a base and stuff. Do you know how important the car is to you? Once you've looked at everything else, you've got to get somewhere. If you want to build your house, you need a big truck. If you go 40% slower and have a max speed of 30 kilometers per hour, do you know how slow and tedious that's going to get?
It's
and also it makes no sense. Just put your foot down.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Like, what's like the in-game law for being a Sunday driver? Like, does the car just not do it? Like. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
It is an awful one. I mean, I've used it a lot very early on, like probably my first, 400 hours or something. only because I spoke about it before. I used to crash, and it was safer for me. But then it just
Yep.
killed me a couple of times in hordes, and trying to tow things, and
That's the worst.
like, well, I know one of you said like having to go somewhere driving is a chore. Like, I was my base was like South Rosewood, and I'd go around, and it was just a chore. I did not want to drive anywhere out of Rosewood, just because it was such a nightmare to get there. So yeah, I would say. I mean, I suppose it's a good one for if you're new to the game and get used to the driving, possibly. But yeah,
it's as you said, it's a killer. It's a killer. If you're in a vehicle that accelerates a little bit more slowly anyway, like a van, and you're off road, then it's
you're done
crazy
for, really.
How slow it accelerates, and it can be a killer. For 1 point, you could easily get killed.
Yeah, maybe
in
don't
the wrong place at the wrong time.
Maybe don't take it if you're new. Just get used to handling the cars at the normal.
Just drive carefully.
Yeah, never quite works like that. Well, not for me anyway.
Well, actually, I was playing earlier on my saves, and I've got a motorbike mod in there because I like motorbikes.
Oh yeah, I've had a little go on that mod. Actually.
Yeah, I love it, and I've got my little saddlebags and everything. It's brilliant. I feel like Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. But one thing Daryl Dixon didn't do in The Walking Dead is crash into a tree. So, they're really, really cool, but they're really hard to handle because it's kind of because they're so thin. They're really sensitive to A and D.
Yeah.
You're like tapping in between, trying to keep the actual car, like with the bike straight, which is really annoying. I wish there was more of like a. I guess it's to do with the top-down kind of angle of the game. You can't really go at a certain angle, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like, cleanly.
You almost want to lean, I suppose, on a bike, don't you? As opposed to just yank it left or right.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a really cool mod, and I love it. And I've actually ditched my other car. I took my car over there. I left my car for the bikes. Now I've got to walk of shame all the way back to the car to pick the car up and bring it back. That's gonna be an interesting one though, because I did go through a few hordes, but. That'll be a few days trip. Maybe I'll camp out somewhere, live the nomad's lifestyle.
Yeah, do it. So we're saying no to Sunday Driver then. Not worth it.
Yeah, just don't touch it with a barge pole, as they say.
Yeah, stay away from that one. Absolutely, I think as well. All thumbs. It's not one that I've taken. 2 points, so you gain 2 points. 120% footstep sound radius, 110% chance to trip while run, sprint, vaulting a low fence.
You're doing the wrong one.
You've gone on to Clumsy.
Oh, yeah, so I have.
Hang on a minute.
400% inventory transfer in time then. That's the one.
That's not it. That's awful.
That's deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly.
It's deadly. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I got to go on all thumbs, man.
Go on.
On my playthrough on my channel, right, I'm using dynamic traits.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know what that is, I'll try and be brief. It's basically you can gain or lose traits depending on certain conditions being reached in game. So I'd had a really long save game where I'd had all thumbs and I'd actually lost it, and I think it's because you lose it if you transfer like a certain number of items or something like that. So when I was doing the build for this playthrough, I thought I was using dynamic traits again. So I thought, I'll take all thumbs again because eventually I'll lose it. So it's just 3 points, right? Not realizing that it is 400% inventory.
Yeah,
it takes 4 times as long, and it's just so annoying because you do spend, obviously, as you all know, a lot of time picking up things and putting them away. There's a lot of inventory management, a lot of stuff, and the amount of times that I've tried to be picking something up off either a container or a zombie, and I've had to, or at the back of my car, whatever it is, and it's something that takes a while because it's big or it's heavy, and the amount of times I've had to stop because the zombies come, and then I have to start again. And sometimes it happens 2 or 3 times. I didn't realize it was 400%. Like it's 4 times.
Yeah,
as slow.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That really
it is. It's a bit broken, really, because some things end up taking. It can be like 20 minutes, like in game. in-game time. Just
Yeah,
getting
like trying to get a
something-
sledgehammer out of
something
your
out of your
backpack
bag.
or something.
Oh, it just affects you. So, I mean, when I was using a shotgun, and I needed to get another box of shotgun shells out of my bag.
Yeah.
It just takes ages.
Imagine that
ages.
like being like paired with like, because depression and sad, that's slow transfer. That slows your transfer time down, doesn't it? Imagine that. And I think anxious does as well.
Yes, not a good combo.
No. And was it you, the positive trait, Sam, that said you like dexterous? You
I love dexterous.
Yeah, so this is definitely a no for you then, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I like to play the not the run and gun, but I mean run and gun in like the melee combat way. I like to be on the move, and if I've got something in my inventory that I need to pull out, I like it to be quick. I like it to be snappy because, if I'm in a dangerous situation, I want to be able to pull out that shotgun that I've stuffed in my backpack. I don't want to take 3 years pulling it out, and then also, transferring the shotgun slugs from out of the boxes and then into the actual shotgun itself. It takes time, and that those crucial seconds that it would take you extra if you had all thumbs, that might cost you your life.
Yeah, and I think what you touched on as well,
as.
the time at base, moving stuff around. You're losing, hours in-game hours, aren't you, in the day?
Yes, it's
Like I've said before, I'm sure you both have toolboxes, and it's like when you have like your nut, you have your nails, your nail compartment. Can you imagine picking all those up individually? At like breakneck speed, like your character does in game. Like, have you ever I'm sure you have. Transferring 100 nails takes a millisecond. But pulling a fridge out your backpack, or I shove a microwave.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah, because surely you just tip the bag upside down and a fridge would come out. But no, and like we said, what we said on the from the previous episodes, surely it'd be harder to pull the nails out, all of the nails, all the 1,000 nails you've got at the bottom of your bag, under all the rummage and everything.
With all the other stuff you got in there.
Yeah, push through all the water bottles and all this stuff, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it had like a little. I think we spoke about when Trombonaut was on, about all of the little kind of illnesses you can get or something. Was it?
I think it was a mod. He said, wasn't it?
Yes, there's a mod, and at the speed that you pull nails out, surely you'd get hurt, like stick your finger on one of the ends of the tip.
Random injuries, was it called?
Yes,
something like that,
was
possibly.
That was it. I bet that's an injury you can get. Just stabbing yourself with a nail.
That'd be quite a good mod, I imagine. But I can imagine it can also be quite frustrating.
No, it's really annoying. I've used it. I used it for a couple of days. Yeah, because it just because when you're injured, it can have quite a serious impact on just surviving in a zombie apocalypse. So if you just, I know it is in a way it's a really well designed mod, but it makes it too much like real life. Like
too much.
Yeah, you can burn yourself while cooking, or you'd be putting a barricade on, and you can injure yourself that way.
Lacerate your thigh or something.
Yeah, There was I can't remember what I was doing, but I managed to put a screwdriver in my leg, and
oh god!
And it was,
I kind of feel I want to try this mod out now.
Well, I mean, I used it it was like 2 years ago. And the reason I used it is I thought, well, that actually sounds really good. That actually does make sense, that to have a small chance of like hammering a nail in your thumb when you're putting up some boards. Yeah, that makes sense. I like the idea of this. That's I wanted to make the game a little bit harder at that point, or explore ways to make it a bit harder. So I thought I'll have that, and I'll give it a try. But I took it off after a couple of weeks in game because I was just getting injured too often. Yeah. And it was just too much of a massive impact on just being able to do stuff. But anyway, we're digressing again. We're way off topic.
Yeah, we are. Okay, yeah. So all thumbs, not worth the 2 points.
No,
it's another big no.
I mean, if you're very patient and you don't mind sitting there for 4 times extra, I guess. But also, it's only 2 points. Not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like maybe 4 6 maybe, not for 2
I do.
points.
Yeah, not for 2
No
points. I consider it at 6, but
So Clumsy then. Well, I'm on the right one now. I'm highlighting it as I
Yeah.
go, so I
Mhm.
don't get confused again. So Clumsy, 2 points, 120% footsteps, sound, radius, 110% chance to trip while run, sprint, vaulting a low fence or lunging zombies. Any of you play with this?
I do
No,
not.
no, I never used it actually. But one interesting thing looking through this list is the effects that we're we're highlighting. You don't get that in the in-game trait description,
No, not at all.
and so I mean, in a way, you can see, as we'll see as we go through this, you can see why there is like a meta build, why people take the same traits again and again, because some are just not worth it, like all thumbs. And I'd never taken Clumsy because I thought, well, who wants to make more noise when moving? It's only 2 points. It's just not worth the extra attention I'll
You
get
see,
from zombies.
I do take Clumsy.
Well, I was going to say that the actual effect thing, it isn't that.
It's not as bad
It's
as it
not that
makes it
much
seem.
penalty. No.
No, because the chance to trip would be outweighed probably by, because I go for a high fitness skill, which decreases your chance to trip, doesn't it? I think one of them, athletics. So that kind of balances out. Footsteps, they never really seem to. I can't tell the difference having it. I definitely take it on multiplayer. Single player I might do, but again, it's one of them. It's not one that I always take. If I need them extra 2 points just to get me over the edge, I'll take it. And I never really seem to have a problem with it. So I mean, for me, 2 points. Like you say, the effects aren't too bad.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
I thought they were worse.
Effects wouldn't be so obvious in the same way that it would take 4 times as long to transfer something.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't notice any of this, really, would you?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
But it's probably not a great one for somebody who's new to game. Any negative trait that's going to attract more zombies when you're not used to fighting them is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, not a beginner friendly one then. No, fair enough. As I say, it's one I used to just get me over the line. I suppose. Well, anything else to add on Clumsy?
Well, I'd probably just say that it's probably one of the better value ones at +2, isn't it? I think. Well, I'm looking ahead. Actually, I'm changing my mind.
Yeah,
Pretend I didn't say that.
Right.
It's not as bad as I thought. There we are.
I thought it was worse. I thought it was going to be like I thought it was going to be like Conspicuous, where you've got a 200% more chance against what. I thought it was going to be kind of that, but after looking at that, doesn't look as bad. To be honest with you, but I'm still not going to take it. But it doesn't look as bad.
You could live with it, couldn't you?
I could live with it definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, if you need them 2 points. Right, I suppose we'll move on to Cowardly then.
Yes.
So with this one again, it's 2 points. 200% panic, except for night terrors and phobias.
Couldn't do this.
No,
Not a fan.
What about you, Chuck?
No, I've never actually tried it, but panic.
So I'm being
bad.
controversial this episode then, because this again is something I take. Definitely on multiplayer.
Why on multiplayer?
I don't know. I don't know. I think on multiplayer because my logic behind that, I can imagine, I can't remember definitely, but I think because loot respawns on most servers, so you're always going to have beta blockers to combat the panic.
True.
So that's why I would take it.
I don't think that's I wouldn't say that's a good enough reason necessarily to pick it, because if you do run out of those, I mean 200%, that is a hell of a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
And I think if you put side by side comparisons up, it would be such a difference. Something I'd never pick, because I don't like to be my character be panicked, because that comes with a whole.
Oh yeah, panic is awful. But I mean, I think like I say, on my solos, I wouldn't take it because of that. But I think there always seems to be so much loot on multiplayer servers. You know, you can, and I normally go Riverside, hit up the pharmacy every other day.
Yeah.
And then that, I mean, 2 points probably not worth the 2 points, to be honest, though.
Yeah. No.
What I was going to say is 200% panic, right?
Yep.
So is that twice as often or twice as much?
Twice as much, I reckon, or twice as quick to get
twice as
extreme
quick.
panics.
Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't recommend taking this one.
Mm-hmm.
Personally.
All right, hang on. I've actually got the stats up for it.
Okay.
Panic. Right, so when there's panic, when you're panicked, 2.6% decreased critical chance and a 10% decrease in melee damage. Your character will stand up faster than from a seating position, so that's interesting.
That's good for me.
Yeah. Yeah, God. I would say strong panic. 3.9% decreased critical chance, and a 20% decrease in melee damage. Gun still less damage, and at aiming 6, this damage. But at aiming 6, this damage penalty is reduced to 0.1, so not too bad. Extreme panic though, which is the worst bit of panic that you can actually get. 5.2% decreased critical chance, and 30% decreased melee damage. Your character's vision cone will become much more narrow, so you can't see as far. And gun still 0.26 less damage, so 0.26 less damage. So
yeah, that's a big impact.
Yeah, the 30%
decrease. Yeah,
that's an extra hit or two.
Killer.
Yeah. So that's why I always go with the sensitized, and I will stay by that. But obviously that's with the veteran trait. If not with the veteran trait, I'd go brave.
Yeah. So I always play with become desensitized, which is nice. And I think you can still get it with cowardly, but it just takes longer.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't. Thinking about it, when I do these multiplayer builds, I'm a bit all over the place. I try and min-max it a bit. But yeah, standard going in, it's not worth 2 points. Thinking about it, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, you know.
Any other thoughts, Chuck? Just a straight no.
Yeah, again, it's just too much of a negative impact for the amount of points it gives you.
Yeah.
That sort of range, if you're looking at, if you needed to take a negative that was 2 to balance out your numbers, you're just not going to, that's not top of the list, shall we say. There are other better options. I agree with that, definitely. What about, so we'll go on to the next one. Hard of hearing. Again, 2 points.
Killer.
Yeah. So besides the decreased perception radius, the range of sound will be decreased and the sound effects will be muffled. Never taken this, ever.
Never taken it.
No, because I am a keen hearing fanboy, I would say.
Me too.
Oh, here we go again. Here we go again.
A civil war.
Yeah. I've never even seen hard of hearing in the trait selection. Never.
Oh, that's true, yeah, because you do your positives first, huh?
Yeah. I mean, for 2 points, so I'm looking at, so you get a decreased perception radius at the back. So instead of, the average is 4 tiles, keen hearing is 8, so I'm guessing this would be 2.
Which 2 is.
That's game over, that is,
game
surely.
Over.
That, yeah. No.
That is, that's not good news.
I'm not too worried about the sound will be decreased and sound effects will be muffled. Not too worried about that.
I want to know how far you have to be from them for them to be muffled. But then again, you can still hear it even if it's muffled, so you still know something's there. But you know
that decreased perception radius. That's just
not it.
No way is that worth 2 points.
I respect you, and I wish you the best if you pick this.
Yeah.
Because also, if you once you start to get tired, your perception radius decreases anyway. So you don't want anything else to make it even worse.
Yeah. God.
I think I saw.
Really good.
I can't remember who. It might have been Coco on YouTube. I don't know. I think we spoke about him before. He did it. I think it might not have been him. I think he did a blind and a deaf playthrough. I've definitely seen something like that.
I watched it.
I
only about 3 episodes.
Yeah, I watched it a while ago.
It?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely be interesting to try, but yeah. So Keen, hard of hearing was saying, no way.
Mm-hmm. No way.
Would you take this, Chuck? Being as you don't take keen hearing?
Well, I wouldn't, because I mean, there's. I mean, I don't know if it might be a bit early to see it yet, because obviously we're sort of, if you're like me, we're looking on the screen and we can see what's ahead. Yeah. There's a bit of a balance issue, I find, with these negative traits, because it just means, unless you want to do it for a certain challenge and just to sort of, you're feeling a bit ballsy, it's quite easy to just end up taking the same negative traits, aren't there? Really, because there's some that are just ridiculously bad for the points they give you. Yeah,
exactly.
So I wouldn't take that.
It's the ones that are like 3 points essentially. They're the ones you go for, aren't they? When you take the negatives, the next one, for example, short-sighted. I always take this just for the 2 points because I don't think it does any. It does have negative effects, of course, but I don't notice them. So it's -2 foraging radius in search mode, but can be negated with glasses and reading glasses. So this is one I always take just to have 2 points.
Yeah, I've taken it recently actually because I thought, well, all I've got to do is wear glasses. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's 3 points. But then there's quite a lot of headgear if you wear for protection. You can't wear the glasses.
That's what I was just about to say.
So that annoyed me quite a lot.
There's nothing worse though than losing your glasses. I don't pick it. I don't normally find the need. I don't know what else I'd pick. I normally go for the big ones. I normally go for the negatives, which you can kind of change. Which are like the 6 points. So I normally kind of fill out my things with the big ones that I can like change. These ones are with you for life. Short-sighted. I don't like being blind. I am blind in real life. I do have glasses. Nothing worse than that. And I couldn't imagine in a zombie apocalypse losing my glasses. It'd just be game over. Yeah. Like to think I'd survive in a zombie apocalypse, but if I lose my glasses, no. So I would put my character through that. And in game, short-sighted. I mean, yeah, like Chuck said, sometimes you need a headgear and stuff. And if you have your glasses on, but then you can't actually put a helmet on, it will save you, or like a bike helmet. Can you put a bike helmet on with glasses?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. No.
I mean, in real life you could, but in game I don't think so.
I take this pretty much every playthrough, and I wear glasses for maybe the first, until I find a welding mask or something else, and I don't notice any difference with and without the glasses personally.
The welding masks count as glasses?
I don't think. Well, on the wiki here it says can be negated with glasses and reading glasses.
So I don't think.
So I don't think a welding mask would count, but then I don't notice it. Do you know what I mean? Even with without glasses, it doesn't seem to make any difference for me, unless I was foraging, I suppose. Because I think it's supposed to also, isn't it supposed to narrow your cone of vision as well? That's not on the wiki, but I'm sure.
What I find really interesting is the description. It says small view distance, right? But it doesn't. There's no like figure. It doesn't say like 50% smaller view distance or anything like that, which I find a bit weird, actually.
I think it would.
Yeah. Now, I think the effects of a smaller view distance, if you're it's quite small. It's subtle, I think.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's not maybe so obvious. So maybe once you get used to it, you don't. That's just what it is, if you see what I mean. I suppose, with the short sighted, I'm using short sighted this for the first time in my current Camden County playthrough. Yes, got
that plug in there.
There you go.
I beat you to it this time, Ash. I am definitely, now that we're sitting here talking about these traits, I'm definitely sort of running into zombies. I'm more often. I'm not literally running into them. I'm like not noticing them so much. So now I'm thinking, well, is it because of the short-sighted I've got? It'd be nice to know
Maybe,
what
actually,
the smaller view distance is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you say, maybe I'm just used to it because I take it every time.
Mm.
That's interesting, actually. If you say you kind of notice it.
Yeah, well, I hadn't sort of put two and two together, but I'm definitely not noticing zombies as much. It feels like I'm sort of stumbling into them more often.
Yeah.
Not literally, but
Yeah. Okay.
But I think there are a lot of people that do take the short side because it does feel like cheap points, and they're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Easy
sure I'm
2
overthinking
points.
it, but maybe I'll use it on my next playthrough.
Give it a go. So slow reader, another 2-pointer, 70% reading speed. So it takes longer to read books.
You see,
We had this discussion.
We're gonna disagree on this, aren't we?
What do you guys think?
Go on. You go for it, Sam. You say what you
Well,
want to say.
I don't know. It's for me, it's 50. If anything, I'd say I'd probably take it in single player.
Yeah, single player. Yeah.
I know that it slows it down, and I like to be fast, but I think when I read is when I'm at home, and when I'm at home, I don't really do much apart from sort out a few things. So I don't see the decrease in speed because I take stuff back home anyway and read it. I read it all at home, So that certain reading speed doesn't actually do anything for me because it actually just gives me more things to do, and it fills up more time. Otherwise, I'd be walking. I'd rather, for the I know it's only 2 points.
2 points.
But
yeah.
Those 2 points are very helpful, and yeah, over like a playthrough, you'll be losing time. But also, I wouldn't be doing anything else anyway at my base, so I might as well occupy myself with reading and get 2 free traits, 2 3 points, 2 3 points. There you go. Finally said it.
2 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all agreeing on this. This is a good one for single player then for the 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay. There was no argument there.
No.
I thought you were a fast reader fan. That's what I thought.
No. If I have the extra point, sure, but depends.
I would
In multiplayer,
yeah.
no, but
Yeah, multiplayer. I mean, I tend to go for fast reader and multiplayer if I've got the spare points.
Oh yeah.
Depending on what the read speed is. Some servers have it faster pages per second. But yeah. So yeah, I think on a single playthrough, slow read is a pretty solid one. 2 points.
Yep.
Happy days.
Yeah. It's money for nothing.
Yeah. So on to the next one then. Weak stomach. So we've gone up to, this is, by looking at it, the only 3-pointer. 200% chance of food illness. Food illness lasts shorter.
Shorter?
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Hang on a minute.
Food illness lasts shorter. Check health for more details. Okay.
I'll have a look. I'll have a little scan through that.
Yeah, have a little look at that.
I'll have a little figure out.
I mean, for me, weak stomach, I always take this. Maybe the illness lasts shorter because you end up dying. That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, weak stomach, 3 points all day for me. I normally just live on cabbage anyway. Cabbage salads most of the time.
That's the way.
Or maybe the odd cabbage salad, butter, and cereal to get them calories up. I think.
Yeah, well, a lot of food you're going to consume, whether it's at the beginning or you're 6 months in or whatever, it's going to be canned food. That's going to be even on extremely rare, you will find enough food out of a can to live on.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I've needed rotten food. Yeah, and I think with a high enough cooking skill, maybe level 8. I might be wrong.
No, I think it's 7.
7 is it? You can put rotten in with stuff, can't you?
Yeah.
And it like counters it. I mean, maybe this for berries and mushrooms.
It's really weird. I'm looking on the health wiki page, and we probably are missing something. But it seems the food illness seems to go down with weak stomach and then down again with iron gut. It's weird.
Maybe because I guess weak stomach, you're kind of throwing it up.
Yeah,
You're
getting
trying
rid
to
of it,
be
maybe.
sick, yeah.
Iron
Possibly.
gut. So normal for duration of food illness, which to me seems like how long you are ill after having bad food.
Yeah.
Normal is 200 to 280 in-game ticks.
Yeah.
Weak stomach is 120 to 230, and iron gut is 80 to 150. So I don't know.
That's a strange one, that is.
Yeah. I don't know. If we're probably missing something, let us know.
But we say, we never get to that point where we have to eat rotten food.
There's always food.
Yeah, I mean, possibly someone new, not knowing where to look.
Yeah.
But like you say, there's
so much food.
There is, yeah.
Once you've got a base down, just hoard the cans.
Yeah.
If
You'll be all right.
if you were drinking, because I mean, again, it's a bit like with rotten food for me. I've never found myself in this situation, but I'm wondering maybe if you had to drink tainted water, maybe weak stomach could be.
I think
really bad.
that's just game over as well, though, isn't it? Unless you drink
No, it's not game over.
Is it? You're not. It's not 100% death.
I
No.
don't think so. I
No.
think what it is it accumulates to death if you have a lot of it. So if I go back on that, sickness. Yeah, so basically caused by catching the Nox infection, eating bad food, or drinking tainted water. Non-zombie sicknesses will initially slow down healing if the sickness reaches the fever stage, so it seems like there's stages of it. So it's a bit like eating rotten food. You can eat a bit of burnt food. You can eat a bit of burnt food, but if you eat lots of burnt food, it builds up like your sickness. Once the sickness hits like a point, then you get a fever, and then you go down, I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I mean, yeah, for me, I'm taking this every playthrough, single player,
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Me too.
Definitely.
It really is
be
money
careful.
for nothing. It really is.
Just be careful with what you eat.
Yeah. Just I know eating burnt food can kill you, I think, but just don't eat it. Just be careful, like you say. Just be careful what you eat.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Just watch what you eat.
3 points, I think. Definitely.
Me too. I agree.
All right, on to the next one, and we're getting through a decent pace.
Yeah. I think we've got into the rhythm of it.
Yeah. Agoraphobic. So 4 points. Gets panicked when outdoors. So enters in panic when outdoors, and it also affects search mode.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this one, Sam?
It's a no from me.
Okay.
With what we know about the panic and how badly it affects you, going outside, zombies be outside if you're panicked. So let's say you get panicked already with the zombies. You've also then got this. It stacks. You're going to be doing like 20% less damage, minimum maybe.
Yeah.
Now, that's not something you'd ever really want at all. So full stop for me. No, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Same from me. Yourself, Chuck?
Yeah, I think for the cost, I mean, for the points it gives you, it's too much of a big negative for it to be attractive. I think you can. Is this a trait that you can lose, or it minimises the panic?
No.
No, I think it. I did hear or read something a while ago that after so many days, it does get less, or it gets you, or I think there is. I don't know if it's confirmed.
Well, actually, hang on. I'm looking. Right. On the wiki. Over time, this Moodle... So panic is a Moodle. Over time, this Moodle will become less common as the character becomes more acclimated to the zombies. A character's panic recovery speed increases every day as time ticks over to midnight, up to a maximum of 150 days survived. Doesn't tell you how...
Yeah, I think that
It doesn't get any statistics, it's just kind of...
Yeah, that's what I may have heard, and it then has an effect on the agoraphobic.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a no from me. Like you say, you want to be fighting zombies outside.
Yeah.
Not worth the 4 points. But
No.
going on to the next one, nice little segue into that.
Oh, we can already. Go on, go on. I can see what you're going to say already.
Claustrophobic. Get another 4 pointer. Gets panicked when indoors. Enters in panic when indoors. Now, I used to play with this on single player. Way back when I stopped. No good for single player because you can't sleep well with drinking and that. But multiplayer, this one I think is worth taking because you don't need to sleep in multiplayer normally.
No.
And you normally you don't really want to be fighting indoors anyway. You want to be getting them out into the open, I think. So this is a one for multiplayer for me, not so much for single player.
Okay.
What about you, Chuck?
Yeah, I probably agree with everything you just said. I think really, I think it's one of the. I mean, it's not one that I would take because again, there are better options at this sort of cost. It is a bit niche, but apparently with the sleeping, if the room is big enough,
yes,
you can get to sleep. So in some of the big hallways or some of the big rooms in mansions, or just I couldn't say it needs to be 10 tiles square.
Yeah, I've noticed that on multiplayer. There was also a little trick where if you fast forward time and then right click sleep, it'll won't recognise the panic and you'll walk and sleep and you won't be panicked. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Sam? Is this a no from you?
It's a no from me again. I mean, I could see if you could sustain a life and sleep with it, maybe. But also, when you think about it, when you're out exploring, the loot's inside, and you're gonna be trying to clear buildings, and you don't want to be panicked. I just stay away from everything which makes you panicked.
Yeah, it's
it's
not a bad rule to have, really.
Yeah,
no,
I
fair
think
enough.
the main nuisance for this one, because it would be just a massive pain in the ass, is what you said, Ash, is the sleeping. I think. So I presume when it says enters in panic, you just go to the first level of panic, right? You don't get more panicked the longer you stay outside.
I think you can get really panicked.
Does it stack then? Does it? So if you spend more time indoors,
yeah, I believe so. I haven't played multiplayer in a while.
All right, I've got it
wrong.
So, claustrophobic characters will slowly gain panic in closed spaces. So gain.
So you're just going to go through the different.
It gets worse.
Yeah. I think that means it gets worse. Because surely it would be if you were claustrophobic, if you were kept in that tight space. Surely that would make you more claustrophobic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't feel too bad for me because, like Ash said, you can spend a lot of time indoors looting, but hopefully there's not many zombies at that point. And I think when I'm fighting zombies, I always try and get them outside. So most of my fighting, that's what will be a pain in the ass with being panicked. It would be outside, so it doesn't feel too bad in that respect. But trying to get to sleep would just be too much of a nuisance. Way too much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think you can stand outside your house and also right click on a sofa. And you'll walk to and you can see that way, but it's for all that hassle, it ain't worth 4 points, I don't think.
Yeah.
No.
Multiplayer fine, I'd say, but
yeah. I think it's all down to how the game defines a room, because obviously you can. It's weird. But when I'm building my base, if I'm inside but I break a floor to the floor below, it counts as outside, even though the floor below is inside.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. It's not fully enclosed. That's a really good.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. So what you're saying, if you have if you sledgehammer one wall down, is that then outside?
Because what I'm thinking is, what you could do is in your bedroom. Well, I mean, for one thing, you could just do a massive open plan base. But if you want a little bit, you just in your bedroom, you just whack one wall and I don't know. Like, I think it's all about opening up the place you're sleeping.
Yeah,
But there's a massive problem with that. You have to have found the mythical sledgehammer.
yeah.
That's true actually. But quick little thing. On the streams that I've been doing with Trumbull, not all, that's the stream that we did. I found a sledgehammer in the first locker that I looked in.
Did you
so
have the
so I
lucky
have one.
trait? I know you can't have it on multiplayer.
No,
you can't have it
no.
on multiplayer. No.
I found it. We're in the fire station in Rosewood, I believe, or Riverside. I can't remember which one it is. I found a sledgehammer.
Fair.
The first locker I looked in there, and I was like, brilliant. That's amazing.
That's good.
But yeah, I've never had a bit of a tangent. I've never had a problem with finding sledgehammers. I don't know what it is.
What I normally do, if I know I'm going to need one in a playthrough, I'll add the mod more sledgehammer spawns. Maybe a little bit cheeky doing that, but I think they're not going to be that rare, are they? In real life, sledgehammers. Why are they so damn rare in game?
Yeah, the way I look at it. Well, I mean, also, if you go around to most houses, they'll have some form of a sledgehammer in some sense.
Yeah.
As in, like, you know, if you really wanted to, you could spend 2 hours with a hammer going through a drywall.
I was literally just about to say that. You could just use a normal hammer.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought with the solid walls, the sledgehammer, it's like I can go downstairs now and I can go in the tool cupboard. And we've got kind of not a sledgehammer, but kind of a big hammer because we like to do a bit of work ourselves on the house sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people's houses I've gone to, they've always got like a big hammer or something.
some kind of big hammer kicking around.
Something that could go through a wall, basically.
Yeah.
So I understand why it's rare in game, but you know, I think you can find something that's big enough to smack through most walls in most houses. When I say most walls, I mean in game.
Yeah.
In game walls.
More sledge spawn then. That's what we need. And then we won't. And then the claustrophobic perk is 3 points then, isn't it? With more sledgehammers.
Yeah. If you just open up the place, sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, 4 points. I mean, yeah, I'd take it on multiplayer. Right, on to the next. Conspicuous, another 4 points. More likely to be spotted by zombies. 200% chance of getting spotted by zombies. What do you think of this one, Sam?
Oh, not for me, please.
No.
No. 20% chance. Well, basically, I get spotted enough already. And this just isn't going to help me. I'm clumsy enough already.
Yeah.
Which is why I also don't take the clumsy trait because I'm clumsy as well. I just run everywhere, and I regret it, but I just do it because I'm impatient. And I know that one day will come up and it will get me killed. But until then, I'll continue doing my bad habits.
No,
fair enough.
200%, 2 times. You know, if you're doing a sneaky, like try and go through Louisville, or you know when you try and there's a horde and you try and just crouch around them or something. With this, I don't think you'd be able to do that. So, you know, I wouldn't do this.
It's a definite no from you then.
Yeah.
You as well?
Yeah, on the description they need to change it. It needs to. It's not more likely. It needs to be a lot more likely to be spotted by zombies, isn't it? Because 200%.
Double.
Twice as likely to get spotted.
Yeah.
Basically. Which, I mean, it might not work out so exactly, but you know, that's spotted by twice as many zombies.
Yeah.
Would you say that's another way you could think about it.
Yeah.
So you'd have twice as many zombies on your ass.
Yep. Not what you want.
No.
Yeah.
That's a killer.
I mean, for me, it's a no single player. I have used it in multiplayer before for them extra points, depending on what mods are on there and things like that. But in general, it's a no from me. Not worth it.
At some point, you will have to. We'll all have to try and avoid a group of zombies for whatever reason. Well, for staying alive, basically. And so if you had that, you just that option would be off the table, as Sam said.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a
So
definite
it's a no.
no, not worth
Not
the 4
fans of
point.
that one.
No.
No.
Right, swiftly on to the next then. We'll leave Conspicuous. Disorganized, another 4-pointer. Decreases container inventory capacity. 70% capacity of all containers, including boxes and cupboards. Now, I think I can guess what you're going to say about this one, Sam.
Yeah. You
So-
already know. I don't even have to say anything. Yeah, no. Honestly, we've gone through every single one and I've gone no. I bet people are wondering what ones I actually pick.
Yeah, maybe at the end we should put our
Yeah, I mean, we
our
could do that,
optimal
because-
builds.
Yeah, I mean,
Take a screenshot and put it in the video somewhere towards the
yeah.
end. That'd be quite interesting. Actually.
yeah, I mean, I generally go with the ones that you can kind of reverse.
Yeah.
I go with the big ones, and then it means that the early game's harder, but then once those are gone, it means that I'm all positive, basically. Or not all positive,
Yeah.
but mostly positive.
So- Definite no from you on this one. Not worth the 4 points.
Yeah, just takes longer to do everything, doesn't it? And with looting, you want to be in and out there generally as quick as possible, within reason. You don't want to spend ages going through everything.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is it to open a
it's
kitchen counter?
Multiple trips,
or
isn't
cabinet?
it? And things like that.
Yeah.
You just don't want it. What about you, Chuck?
Well, I usually with my character builds, then they're not very strong or fit,
Yeah.
so they'll have a lesser carry capacity anyway. So anything that further reduces that is completely unattractive for me. I just wouldn't do it. But and maybe it is possible to balance that out with a stronger character, maybe. Oh no, because it's just containers, isn't it? Not your actual character.
Yeah. Containers. I'm just
So you
thinking,
could maybe
would that
balance that
affect
out.
your body? You know, like your personal container. 'Cause that's,
I wouldn't have thought so. 'Cause it says
No.
containers. So maybe it's possible to balance that out with a strong character that can carry more on themselves. That's not in a container. But no, actually thinking about it though, because because it does have quite a big impact, doesn't it? Because some of the better bags, like large backpacks, Alice packs, they give it's like 85% weight reduction, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you've got 70% less capacity for the actual container, that's actually quite a lot of. That could give you problems. I think I take it back. I thought it wasn't going to be too bad, but that's not something I would do.
yeah. No, I
Over
think,
time, you'll just need more containers, and that means messier bases, which not
Well,
brilliant.
you're more likely to get encumbered, aren't you?
Yeah.
Basically.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's the one, isn't it? The encumbered. More trips to the wherever you're looting in your car. More risk of getting killed. It's just a knock-on effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Too
So-
expensive, basically.
Too expensive. Too
Yeah.
expensive for that. Not worth it. No way. Yeah, I think we all agree on that one, definitely. So Hearty. So the next one, Hearty appetite. 4 points. Needs to eat more regularly. 150% hunger gives a plus 3% bonus to packaged foods, mushrooms, berries, and animals for foraging. I didn't actually know that.
No, it's just so. I mean, that makes sense, but it's kind of like, well, who thought of putting that in? Who thought of it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess what they're thinking is because
You like your
you
food,
want
you-
you want food more. You're more likely to see it on the ground,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes sense. But
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I take this one. This is one for me, definitely. Like we've said, there's
Yeah.
plenty of food around.
mm,
Yeah. I don't like to take it, but if I need 4 points, I'll probably take it.
Yeah, no.
so why don't you like to take it?
The hunger. Because when you are hungry, there's debuffs.
Yeah.
And those can get quite significant. And I mean, I always have food. I have tons of food. I have 2 months worth of rabbit in the freezer. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to have to continuously keep eating. Like
It does
don't wanna
get
snack a lot.
annoying. It does get annoying. But for the 4 points, I'm taking this every time,
Sure.
personally.
Did you know on one of the recent patches they changed your calorie, the way you consume calories?
I think
in-game?
I think I read
I
something
skimmed
briefly
that.
about it. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so I think that's made you basically have to eat more, basically, because you burn more calories. I think when you're either standing still or walking or something like this.
Yeah.
So which means you have to eat a lot more food to stop losing weight. And so I think if you've got hearty appetite as well, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass.
Double whammy.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I take hearty appetite in every single playthrough.
Yeah.
Because I will probably take underweight as well. So I always find, I always play with extremely rare or insanely rare for loot.
Yeah.
And even with that, I can still find enough food to put on
the
weight
extreme
usually.
The extremely low loot in that sense, they're not really that
No.
rare, is it? I think you can get mods for it, but it's
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
But yeah, hearty appetite all day long for me. 4 points, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's a no from you, Sam, but a yes from me and
Well,
Chuck. Interesting.
If I need the points, I'll take this one.
It's one of them a backup for you, I suppose.
Yeah. But I don't normally have to come to this. But if I
Okay.
do.
No, fair enough.
I just got to say though, guys, we are so vanilla. We are so boring with our negative trait picks, aren't we?
Well,
We're so predictable. We're so meta. We're so
yeah.
meta.
But
We're not
you
taking
know,
any risks.
No way. I like to stick to what I know, and I know it works for me.
Yeah.
Now this next one could be controversial. Pacifist. So less effective with weapons. It's 4-pointer, 75% XP of melee and aiming skill. Now, I take this.
Okay.
I do take it most of the
Explain
time.
yourself.
Well, I always take fast learner as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of like balances it out. You're still getting a buff, and you're getting some of them. So you are getting a buff, and you work out with some extra points as well. So it's not the full buff of the fast learner, but it's only on the melee. But yeah, no, I take it. I do take it. Not all the time, but yeah, I do take it. What about you two?
Once again, I'm going to be very boring and say I'm very combat focused.
Yeah.
And I like to be efficient with fighting. So, not if possible, I wouldn't take it.
Okay, yeah. It's one of them. I don't know a lot of people that do take it. What about you, Chuck?
Well, I've never taken this,
Yeah.
and clearly I need to look at the wiki more often because I'm finding quite a few surprises in the actual what it actually does under the bonnet, the actual effect.
Yeah.
So if you look at Pacifist as it says in the table on the traits menu, it'll just when you're doing your character build in game, it will just say less effective with weapons.
Yeah.
So you take those words at face value, and you think, well, Christ, this is a zombie apocalypse. I need to kill
exactly.
thousands of zombies to survive. Who wants to be less effective with weapons? No way, Jose. But I thought that was like literally less effective with weapons. Yeah, so I thought, oh well, it's going to take me more hits.
Yeah, not the
kill
damage
zombies.
debuff or something, but it's
all
it is
it's actually
XP.
XP. It is actually XP, and I didn't realise that. And I was going to say exactly what you said, Ash, is that if you took fast learner, then you can negate that sort of debuff.
I actually, the reason I started taking because I watched a Ratanari video and he explained it all, and I was like, that's one for me going forward. It is, often overlooked one, but the descriptions in game are not helpful at all, are they?
They're not. They need to change. This is one thing. This is the only thing I want to see from Build 42. An update for the descriptions. This is it.
No NPCs, no bases, just
this is all I ask.
Updated descriptions.
Please, update them, please.
Dear. So, would you go with this one then, Chuck, knowing that now with Fast Learner?
I kind of want to try it now, but I think I would only do it if I was sort of like telling myself off for always taking the same
Right,
traits
yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. I think if I was like in a bit of a funk with that and a bit annoyed with myself for always doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and I was looking to change it up somehow without being ridiculous, this one would definitely be a go-to. I think
Be
for
the
the 4
one.
points, that's not a massive
Yeah.
one.
No, and I've just looked and it's 130% increase for all apart from skill, strength and fitness for the
Yeah.
fast learner. That
Yeah.
completely counters this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you get 2 extra points.
Yeah, double bubble. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So
It's happy
I
days.
feel stupid now. Why have I not been taking this? I've been scammed.
Pacifist, the new meta,
Yeah,
pacifist.
the new meta pacifist.
Okay,
That's
so
because you took the words at face value, less effective with weapons.
Well, that's what it seems. When less
Yeah.
effective, for me, that would be like you do less damage.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
it'd be so, yeah,
Which
you
is a
just,
big no.
Yeah, you just think that's a massive debuff, but
Yeah.
I think we got time for one more in this episode. I think so. We'll do the next one. Prone to illness, again, 4-pointer. More prone to disease, faster rate of zombification. So the actual effect is 125% progression rate of zombification, 170% chance of catching a cold, 120% cold strength, and 150% cold progression speed. Jesus, right.
Yeah.
There's some big numbers.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this one, Chuck?
Well, I always take this one because I'm quite anal. I'm quite obsessive with my moodles. So
Okay.
I very rarely get a cold at all. Very
Mm-hmm.
rare. And the most likely scenario that I and perhaps most people might get a cold is being outside in the rain too long.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of ways you can negate that. You can take the outdoorsman trait,
Yeah,
which is quite a cheap trait.
So that's 2
can wear-
points. And this is 4. So again, you're gaining 2 points.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you can wear a poncho,
Yeah.
and
Umbrellas.
you can have an umbrella, which looks ridiculous when you're fighting, having an umbrella in your offhand.
You're doing it in style.
But they're really, really effective. They're really effective. I carry an umbrella everywhere.
I've never really found them, or if I have found them, I've left them somewhere.
Yeah, maybe I pay no notice to it.
houses.
Is that cooler though to kill zombies with an umbrella?
No, you look ridiculous.
Oh, I don't
You
know.
do- you do
I
look
think
Do you
it's.
think though? Like you have the skills and you also have the flair to show off that you can also balance an umbrella and swing a crowbar or an axe.
Yeah, one-handed. Yeah. But I tell you what, there's another interest. Very, very brief because I'm getting off topic. You can actually use a closed umbrella as a sphere.
Yeah, I think I have used it. They're not very good durability, I don't think. But
No,
yeah.
they're not, as you'd expect. But I mean, obviously, I'm not recommending you do that. But it's just a lesser known fact.
Little things
yeah,
like that, man, that make.
I
the
always
game,
take prone
honestly.
to illness.
Mm.
It's cheap points.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
if you're in vanilla, you're not doing dynamic traits or anything weird, then getting a cold is not a massive deal.
No. And I find I always take outdoorsmen, and I don't think I've ever got a cold. No, I can't remember getting a cold with
I've got
outdoorsmen.
one. I've once it rained. I was outside the entire day, and the day after it was -20, and I was outside and it was snowing.
Right.
And it was the rain being completely wet,
Yeah.
and then also the snow, and then also the cold. I got one, but it only lasted a day, and that's I can't remember getting anything else. I can't remember getting another cold after that. It's weird. I can't remember getting one.
And I mean the extra percentage for zombification. I mean, progression rate. You just get it over with. You normally drink bleach anyway, don't you? So
Yeah.
So is this one for you then, Sam? Would you say?
Yeah.
For the
Colds are manageable in the sense that if you have one, just take a few days off, do some things around the base.
Yeah.
And also, you can still do things with the cold. You just be more cautious and careful and more confident in your skills. 125% progression rate of zombification. You might as well blank that because if you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah.
If you've been bit, you're dead.
Yeah. I know we just quit. Done. New character.
Done. Yeah. Well, I normally send them out on a killing spree, and then I go until I die, basically.
Get
A bit more
revenge.
cathartic, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement that we're we're taking this one. Prone
Yes.
to illness. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I think we'll call it there for this episode. It's going to be another 2-parter. I think it maybe we'll put our builds at the end of next episode once we've gone through all the negatives.
We'll put kind of our go-to builds, I guess.
Yeah. What we
and you guys can rip them apart and make fun of us.
yeah.
Please don't actually. I feel nervous about what I pick now on a live stream. I'll be like, no,
yeah. Let us know in the comments if you've if you disagree with any that we've gone through so far. I'm sure you will anyway. But yeah, I think that's it. Anything to add from either of you two?
Not really. I think we've got through not as many as we thought we were going to get through. But that's just us talking, and we always have lots to say about everything, as you can tell. But yeah, I guess we'll see you guys in part 2.
I just want to quickly
go on.
I just really quickly, you did. I think it was you, Ash, that mentioned it actually, but I do actually want to give a shout out to Retinaru as an excellent YouTube channel to go to if you wanted to look at the sort of a deep dive look into how a lot of the sort of hidden things work.
I've learned so much. Stat wise and things like that. It's so good.
So if you haven't come across him, we would all definitely recommend his channel.
Definitely.
It's spelled Retanaru, Retinaru.
Maybe we'll put a link to it in the description.
Yeah.
He's done quite a few things with traits, but also a lot of things really.
A lot of just stuff that's good to know. Little, not so much tips and tricks, but mechanics of how stuff works, which does. Which can very helpful.
Everything. Yeah, it's a really amazing channel. I'm dead jealous of how good it is. Anyway, that was it. I just wanted to probably underline him and shout him out as a great channel.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. So thank you for listening, watching, and we'll see you in part 2.
See you part 2. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Cheers.